minute late, or a couple minutes late. Got back, took Saturday off, and got back on the floor yesterday. Watched tape of the Tech game, and then practiced for about an hour, hour and a half, and then been meeting on Baylor last night and this morning, getting ready for them. And so, obviously, a great challenge for our team, our program, but we're excited about it, and we'll practice today at 2 and then head over there tomorrow.
Steve, Steve, how's the four-guard lineup combat Motley and that 7-footer whose name I can't say? What are some of the strategies involved there?
If you're going to play four guards, you got to have great toughness, speed. You got to have just a toughness about you, resolve about you. And so, obviously, if you're just going to play straight man-to-man defense with those guys against that lineup, you're going to have to do some things differently. But offensively, I think it can do some good things, attacking them, whether it's their man or their zone. But defensively, that's where we're going to have a great team defense, great rebounding, but just a toughness about the way we compete and battle.
Maybe it's a little premature for this, but is that going to be the identity of this team, do you think, that four-guard lineup kind of going forward?
I think it's game to game. For us to be great, and then we need Deontay to be terrific for us. We need Darryl Bowie. We need all those guys, to play well. If we have to play four guards, we're working on it more. I think we're more in sync with it to where we can do good things with that. Now, some games are going to lend itself to where you can. Some games you may try it, and you just can't. It's not going to be the best thing for you that night. We just got to, whatever game it is, we got to put the best lineup on the floor, gives us the best chance to win. When
you went back and watched Friday, what kind of stood out to you between the good and the bad, I guess?
Well, the last 13 minutes, just the energy, the offensive execution in the half court, out of timeouts, the pace that we played with, sharing the basketball. The ball was moving. The pace was good. A lot of really good things. Even I think we out-rebounded them 2 by 2 the last 13 minutes of the game with four guards on the floor. And so it's just a matter of just toughness and focus is it all, you watch film, that's what all just presents itself is I've got to do a better job at demanding offensive execution, because when we do that, we get good looks, we get good offense. When we get stagnant or we kind of do our own free-flow offense, not very good.
So that last 13 minutes, was that a product of having a four-guard lineup or having those specific 5 guys out there, I guess? Does that make sense?
I think it had to do with, I think four guards helped because we did play faster and we spread them out and we had guys that could dribble, pass, and shoot, and we moved the ball. But I think the biggest thing, that the only difference is the competitive juices were raised up a little bit more. The toughness was better. The offensive execution was better. It should be like that with whoever's on the floor. But those 5 guys were the ones getting it done then.
No, after the game you'd mentioned you'd wanted to talk to Deontay. How'd that go, and what kind of message did you want to convey to him? I
just talked to him briefly yesterday, more so just, hello. I didn't have anything in depth with him. I may grab him today or, may even wait till tomorrow to sit down where I've got some, good quality time. The thing I can't say enough, and he knows this, and is that we need him to be good. I always say we need the Gonzaga Deontay Burton, and it's not about the 29 points. It's about those 12 rebounds. It's about the toughness that he showed down in Florida, fighting against Miami, fighting against Gonzaga. And so we need him to be really good for us. He knows that. I know that. And we just got to get him back playing to that level.
How do you bring out that toughness when it's
I don't think it's missing. I think he has it. I just think we got to get it consistently from him. And so you just got to continue to challenge him. You show him tape, then you go out on the practice floor and you work. And you watch. There was some possessions. I was watching the Baylor game this morning. He made some tough plays around the basket against them last year, and I expect him to do that Wednesday night.
What is it that makes Jonathan Motley such a tough matchup, I guess, besides the fact that he's so big?
Well, he's skilled. I didn't see him as a freshman, but last year, I guess, I don't know if it was his coming out party, but, he had 2 really good games against us. I mean, he was terrific here in an early conference game, but, you know, he can make threes, but he's skilled. He can pass it. He can shoot it. He's gotten so much better over these 3 years. He's improved so much, and I got a lot of respect for his game, and he's obviously a tough matchup for us, but a big key to the game.
Baylor at large, what stands out to you when you watch film?
Size, athleticism, activity, you know, perimeter guys who can make shots, front court guys who can change shots at the rim and score around the basket, but can also step out on the perimeter and make plays. But, I mean, activity, you know, activity and energy is the biggest thing. And you got to go down there. I think the teams that have played them really close, when you look at Florida Gulf Coast, VCU, Louisville, I think those 3 programs have and there's other good programs they've beaten too, but those 3 games have been the closest. In Florida Gulf Coast, you know, and they're a mid-major school, but they were tough. They were physical. They competed. They drove the ball. You know, Louisville, we know Louisville. VCU, we know how they like to play, and so we've got to go down there with that kind of an edge.
What do you see at the point guard matchup? Because that was kind of their question mark coming into the year.
Yeah, he's
It's
been
real
great.
good.
Yeah, he's been great. I don't know his stats exactly. I just know LeConte, you know, he's shooting the ball really well. You got to do a great job on ball screen defense against him. He can't get in the teeth of your defense to get other guys' shots, but then also you got to take away his 3. Shoots the ball really at a high level. I know people said that in the beginning of the year or in the off season, but I don't know if they've got a true weakness, whether it's the point, whether it's the perimeter, whether it's up front. I mean, they got a really good balanced team, and then Scott does a really good job.
That leads into this, is whenever people talk about Baylor, they always say they win despite Scott Drew. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would. You know, we recruit against them, so I don't want to give him too much praise. But I think he, you know, I got a lot of respect for him as a person, first and foremost. I think he's done an unbelievable job with the situation he took over there. You look at the resume that he's built, whether it's the Elite 8, Sweet 16s, NCAA tournament appearances, pros. He's done an amazing job, and so. You know, whether you want to call you a good coach or a bad coach, I think he's probably okay with that if he just keeps winning games and making great postseason runs and having players that go on and do well. And so, you know, I think people get caught up. You know, if we're winning a lot of games and we're going to a tournament, you call me a bad coach. I want to win. You know, and he's done that at a high level, and I got a lot of respect for him as a coach. I think he's one of the elite coaches in the country. I mean, his record shows it. His style of play, it's a little different, but it's very effective for him and his program.
And now, what about the Big 12 in general? I know we're just a week into conference games, but it appears to be.
Yeah, I think, again, it's, you know, I think the last 3 years was the #1 league in the country, and I think we're headed on that path again this year. I think the little bit of the difference this year is now where 8, 9, and 10 last year, you could probably say, hey, we got a great chance to sweep them every game. You know, it's like I saw Chris's quote after our game. That was round 1 of an 18-round fight. And I told our guys in the locker room, I said, man, I bet you 100, I bet you anything. I bet you anything that Kansas TCU is close tonight. I bet it's a dogfight to the end. And it came down to the last minute of the game. You know, Devontae Graham made a great play to go up 4-6 late with about a minute and a half to go. And so the league is really good. TCU is from TCU to, you know, Oklahoma State to Tech to K-State all the way up to West Virginia Bay. I mean, everybody's really good, and Kansas. And so you got to be ready each and every night. And I think the depth of our league is really good 1 through 10. And when you only have 10 teams in your league too, I think it really, you know, that 18 league game schedule is a beast. But I think it's also a positive for you to get quality wins all year long.
Any update on Matt's foot?
Didn't practice yesterday. I don't know if he's going to practice yet today or not. He kind of knows what we're doing. He knows, you know, our attack, you know, that if he needs to. Monte was joking. I think this was the first practice he missed in 4 years. So So if he can't practice, we'll sit him out today. I'd rather have him ready for Wednesday because we're going to need him, need his perimeter shooting for sure. And so I'll see Vic when I get back over too. But I haven't heard anything yet. But if he sits out today, that's not a big deal. But he'll play Wednesday for sure.
Do you anticipate he might be limited, though?
I have to wait and see. It is going to wait and see because I didn't know he'd be limited Friday. And, just coming out of half, they told me that he wasn't feeling really well.